going on, Tiger fans? It's Thursday edition of the Clemson Tigers Radio Show. We are going to talk who should start at wide receiver, the best Clemson game environment, the win total plummets, and a lot more on this edition of the show. So stay tuned and get locked in. So, let's go ahead and get this out of the way because I can tell by the look on your face, this is going to be great. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get our favorite segment of the day out of the way. What's going on with Bad Luck Jack?
Yeah,
all right, so take it away.
Go ahead and prepare everybody now. Y'all probably gonna hear my dog whining. She's if you've listened to us before, I've told you how I got to keep them separated. One stays back here with me, and picked her up from her surgery this morning. She's been out and about all day, and brought her back here with me a few minutes ago, and she's not happy, man. She's already whining down there. She wants to get out, and her being out means the other one's got to be locked in a crate, and I never like to leave her in there for more than a couple hours at a time, and I've had her in there for 7 hours a day, and I got to let her out. And, I don't ever do that. She's not used to it. But so prepare yourselves. That's coming. But if you want to hear the worst part of my day was when I picked her up. I go to pay the bill. It's about $150 more than I was expecting. Look down. I just scan it. Don't really see anything. And, it was just an estimate. I didn't really think nothing of it. Loading her in the car, the girl tells me, we'll call you with the results of that when we get the results from sending that tumor off back. And I'm like, nah, no, you won't. She's like, huh? I was like, I told them not to send it off. She was like, oh, well, we boxed that thing up and sent it off. I looked down and they charged me $110 to do it. It was the doctor's idea not to do it, but of course, my luck, a different doctor did the surgery and he didn't know. And, it took me forever to find a new vet, and I had to zip my lips. I didn't want to already piss off the new vet and have to end up finding a new one, and I just ate the $110.
That sounds awful. If it was me, I would have told that, take this.
You suck!
Hey, that's normally how I am. I would have showed my tail a little bit, but I'm telling you, I have struggled mightily to find a vet that could fit her in and get this thing done now. And I think it was an honest mistake. I just wasn't going to raise too much cane about it. I don't need to tick off another vet already. I've ticked off about half of them in town in the past 2 weeks. Oh, man. Where I live, let me tell you, the first place I took her a few weeks ago, called up there, told them she's got a tumor, needs to be cut out. It's ruptured. It's leaking. It's infected. They bring me up there, tell me we can't do the surgery till October. Now, mind you, this is still this is before the calendar's even turned to September. We can't do the surgery till October. I was like, well, that would have been, that would have been useful information to tell me when I called. Well, our receptionists don't know our surgical schedule, and I was like, don't you think they should?
Yeah.
He looked at me like I was crazy, man, and then they wanted to do an X-ray. I asked how much it's going to cost. She said about $90, and they come back and see something on it and want to send it off. And I said, okay, get the bill. The bill was almost $600 for this vet visit and for them to shoot that X-ray and send it off. My bill today for the surgery, her spending the night, add on $110 for sending this thing off that I wasn't even supposed to be paying. and it was only 700. I'm telling you, man, vets where I live, it's hard to find a good one, and I like them. I like them. I didn't want to tick them off already
Yeah.
because I really do think it was an honest mistake. Because again, it was a different doctor that did the surgery. Might not they didn't write it down anywhere not to send it off, and it was just a casual conversation we were having, and so
Yeah.
my wife wasn't too happy I didn't say anything. She was more shocked that I didn't say anything, to be honest. Because it's not in my nature to bite my lip in those circumstances.
I was going to say, you normally tell them.
You suck!
Yeah.
If I said something, they might would have. They probably would. I don't know. I don't know what they'd have done, but she told me. She told me they had already boxed it up and sent it off and whatever. Now, I mean, it's not useful information to me. You know, when we took her in there, is a tumor down around her mammary gland, and he filled her all up, and he don't feel any more, and they already had 2 X-rays and didn't see any masses in there. He didn't think it would do any good. He's like, if it's cancer, what's he gonna do? I mean, all it is just information. I don't care to have it one way or the other. I prefer not to know, to be quite honest. And I'm already 99.9% sure it's cancer. I mean, I saw it. It's ruptured. I mean, it was nasty.
Yeah. Now, Vegas, since I always get you at the counter, it's a lot.
It carefully.
It's a lot like, the mechanic, where you end up going in for an oil change, and next thing you know, you have unicorns jumping around, poking holes in the alternator and the tailpipe and all that stuff.
I told you this was gonna be eventful.
Yes, you did. And there he goes.
Look. She didn't just unplug it this time. She knocked the whole thing over.
Oh, I love it. This is great. Well,
What's she knock over? She's got one of those big things on, man, where she can't get down and lick to it. She's turning around and knock the whole light down. That was
yeah, you are lying when you said this is going to be an interesting hour.
We'll see how it goes. Hey, back to the vet though. They did keep her overnight. Didn't tell me that she was gonna have to stay overnight or anything. And they called me yesterday and told me. I was like, "Yeah, I didn't tell me she had to stay overnight." She said, "I know, we're not gonna charge you for that." So I mean, I liked them, so I wanted to not make them mad today.
Sure, yeah. Someone who was making you mad. That was Jay Norvell. Did you see this? And look, I know that we are the Clemson Tigers Radio show, but sometimes stories are too good, to pass up. Jay Norvell calls out Deion Sanders for wearing a hat and sunglasses at his press conferences. He said that, where he came from, his mom taught him to take a hat off and a sunglasses when you're eating with adults. I mean, this is a Colorado State coach who hasn't won jack squat since he's been there, is heading into, Colorado Stadium, and you're going to piss off Deion? I mean, that seems like the biggest dumbass move you could possibly make. When you're huge underdogs, game day is coming. What I mean, did he just like go rain dead there for a minute? Because I mean, it is all over, X or Twitter, or you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, and Dion has come out and said, "Look, we were hoping for just a friendly game. Now it's personal." I mean, that that is so stupid. I mean, if I was one of his players, I would slap him upside his head and ask him, "What the hell are you thinking?"
You know what? My mama, my grandmama, and all of them, they taught me to take my hat off when I'm eating and all that good stuff. Guess I usually don't do it, but I was taught that. But I never heard anybody take your hat off and sunglasses off when you're talking to adults. That didn't even make any sense to me. Um, am I supposed to take my hat off every time I walk up to a grown ass man and just take my hat off to start talking to him? I never heard of that because that's what he
Yeah,
said, right? Take your hat
yeah,
and sunglasses
yeah,
off when you're talking to an adult.
yeah,
I never heard of that. That didn't even make sense to me to start with, and it absolutely made even less sense, to kind of poke the bear here. Game day coming to Boulder this weekend. That you're already going to get smoked. Not now. You're probably going to get it run up on you. It's going
yeah,
to probably be ugly, man. We were talking about pettiness from some fans last night. Now we're getting some pettiness from a head coach.
yeah. I mean, this is a Colorado State team who lost their home opener 50-24 to Washington State. You got your ass kicked and the doors blown off you by Washington State. Your home opener. You're gonna sit here and talk crap to Coach Prime, who is running arguably one of the hottest offenses, and Travis Hunter, one of the elite dual players in the game. And game day is there. The Foxes, what do they call their thing? The noon kickoff show is there. I mean, not to mention it's a rivalry game, and you're going to say stupid stuff like that. If I was his AED, I would have jerked a knot in his ass. And if I was his players, I would say, look, you aren't the one out here having to stick the pads on. You got here and answer for your asinine comments. But he sure did. He stuck his foot in his mouth, and the thing is, he's sticking to it. He hasn't retracted. He hasn't said, "Look, I understand. Different. Coaches have different styles. I mean, Dow, when he meets us after practice and before practices, is always wearing a hat.
I was about to say he don't take his hat off, does he?
Yeah, he's wearing that same nasty ass hat that he's had since 2003. But
Maybe he don't consider us adults.
I could say that for some of the members.
No comment.
Yeah, shoot. In fact, here he is right there. Look, look. So is Jay Norvell, who he has to preface has no relation to Mike, even though they both are little, uh, uh, words I
Loose
can't say.
with the lips.
Yeah, yeah. And there are also words I can't say or else we'll lose monetization. But, there he is. He's wearing a hat. So, are you going to crawl down and stuff? I mean, it's an absolute joke. Colorado State's going to get run out of that place. And then I think, obviously the TCU game, you can say that, it was TCU's not the same program they were last year, without Garrett, without Max Duggan. and they had, a lot of kids transfer out and leave to the NFL. But I am still listening. If Coach Ryan happens to watch a clip of this, all right, don't keep the receipts on me. But I am still wanting to see how they perform against a top ranked opponent. And they'll see that. They'll see
Don't
that.
believe. You don't believe.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got the receipts. But yeah. So this week, they are going to absolutely stomp Colorado State. Then next week, they travel to Oregon to face, Bo Nix and that Oregon offense. Then September 30th, USC comes to town. So I think in the next 3 weeks, we are going to learn a whole lot more about, Coach Ryan and whether or not he really has something rolling there, or if he is going to be in the exact same uh, boat as FSU is next year, or he is going to have to hit the transfer portal hard because he's going to lose everyone.
Yeah, I expect we're going to be hearing a lot of touchdown Sanders, touchdown Hunter, Sanders to Hunter this Saturday when Colorado and Colorado State play. But I'm kind of anxious to see them play somebody with a pulse too, because we know TCU's not is just a shell of what they were last year. That they lost so much off that team that made the run to the national title team. It's just not even close to being the same team. I'm kind of ready to see what they do against the Oregon or Southern Cal too, because while I can readily admit they are better than I thought they were going to be, I'm not ready to claim them a top 10 team or anything like that yet. I want to see them tested for real.
Yeah, I agree. And also, another thing we can agree on is that you need to jump over and join the Death Valley domain. So, yeah, this is where all of Jason's recruiting insights, analysis, unique perspectives will have, you know, uh, virtual meetups, happy hours, and in fact, let me see here. Rad just posted a great story over there. If you're not remember, this story is worth your read, and honestly, it's worth the $4.99 that you're going to pay. It is titled Turnover Prone Clemson Tigers Desperately Need a Clean Game. And he goes in depth into the turnover issues that the Tigers have had dating back to last season. And yeah, and the type of expectations that you need to have moving forward. Because you cannot lose the turnover battle against a team like FSU and expect to walk away with a win. So I highly encourage you, if you are not already a member, go over to the site, join up, and take a read on that news story. So this Saturday, we have seen, last week we got to see almost every wide receiver, including the Sports Center number 1 guy, Hank Green, on the field. So heading into this week's game, I think this is a tight game where you know almost before you get into the FSU week, you want to have a lockdown receiving rotation. Cole Turner was unavailable last week. He actually started against Duke, which shocked us in the press box when he ran out there first. I looked at Jason and said, "Hang on, that's Cole Turner out there." And
Yeah, it
so,
surprised me.
I want to know right now on Thursday afternoon or evening, who is your three starting receivers? Obviously, Jake Green still going around out there as the fourth guy at the tight end spot. But if it was you and you're Dow, you are Gary Riley, you're this offensive staff, who starts at wide receiver for you?
Right now, I'm moving Antonio outside and starting Tyler Brown in the slot. Bo Collins, Antonio, Tyler Brown. That's me. I think you got to get Tyler Brown on the field. He's already shown through 2 games. He's dynamic. He's got game breaking speed, and he is already showing that he is pretty reliable with the ball in his hands. Just go back to that punt return Saturday. Um, I think we're going to start seeing more and more of this kid the further we get into the season. It doesn't shock me one bit. Anybody that follows us knows I've been tooting his horn for a long time now. I thought he was
Yes,
going
you
to make it.
have.
I
I
thought
think
he was
you
going to make
actually are doing some NIL money.
I thought he was going to make an impact this year. And I'm going to tell you, man, he kind of come out of nowhere for me last year because not living up that way, I didn't know a lot about him at first. And then when I started watching the films, and then I remember one of the All-Star games I watched, he's just, I ended up becoming convinced he was the best receiver on that team that also includes Mazio Bennett, who is a 2024 wide receiver committed to South Carolina. So, and not a lot of people share that opinion. Bennett's, a much higher rated guy than Brown was coming out of high school. But Brown, he's so dynamic. He's far more polished than a lot of people realize coming out of high school. He's one of those guys that is a threat to take it to the house every time he's got the ball in his hands. And fans like to talk about speed all the time, and this is a kid that's got legit speed.
Yeah, I have to completely agree. That was my three, Williams, Brown, and Collins. I think, you are going to have to find a way to get Stellato on the field because, I think he has something to prove. And he's got that dog about him. He's got that, look, I haven't, had the opportunity to prove what I can do these last few years. And now that he is healthy and, knock on wood, isn't battling any injuries, I think that he is a guy that needs to see the field. And honestly, I would love to see them, start using Tyler Brown in some of the jet sweep. We haven't seen any of that yet. There
Hey,
has not, there has not been a single instance of jet sweep. They have ran some orbit motion, where the receiver comes and actually goes around the quarterback from behind. But, you know, not sure if this is Gary Riley kind of holding you know, a little back from, what he wants to fully do with Tyler Ryan. But he is a guy I could see being just like an Amari Rogers, how he used to use in that role. And, I think those three guys right there with Stellato being your fourth guy, I think that is as good a rotation as you're going to find.
yeah, I kind of used the Artavis Scott comparison But Amari Rogers fits too. I said it a lot of times before the season started. I thought we were going to see Tyler Brown, that guy, that it get used in the jet sweeps, and he was a faster version of Artavis Scott. And I think most people remember the kind of season Scott had. I think it was 2015 when Mike Williams was hurt. Um, he just excelled in that role, and I think Brown could have, if he gets the opportunities, I think he can make the most out of them.
Yeah, which brings us to Adam Randall. He is a guy that has just disappeared off the face of the earth this season. I mean, you heard rave reviews coming from the coaching staff, during fall camp and and through the summer and stuff. You have mentioned more than once that he is a shell of the guy that you saw down at Myrtle Beach. And so I I am seriously concerned about him. He has zero desire to block anyone. He also, his route running doesn't look like it's there. And honestly, the thing is, the way plays are called, there is a first read, a second read, a third read, a fourth read, and then if you can make it through three reads, you're probably sacked. However, it looks to me like he knows that he is not the primary guy on that particular play, that he goes half speed. And I could be completely wrong, in that assessment, but to me, he doesn't look like he has that fire, that desire to be the guy. You have to want to, when the game is on the line. Honestly, I don't want Randall on the field.
The fact that he played about half the snaps that Cole Turner played against Duke, that's very telling. Not just that, it goes deeper than Turner just running out there first. He played far more than Adam Randall did. If you look at all of Randall's catches this year, they're all pretty much screen passes. It's nothing down the field. If you kind of zero in on him and watch him during games, he just looks like he's playing very timid. Whatever the reason, we can sit here and speculate all day about what the reason is. He does not look like the same guy he was pre-injury. I'm not saying injury's got anything to do with it. I'm just saying before that initial ACL injury. Since then, he's had both knees worked on. But whatever the reason, yeah, he does not resemble the guy that was at Myrtle Beach. Like I said on here before, he played safety on that defense, man. And he would smoke guys. He was out looking for contact, and that's not what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and that really shows up, in the blocking where, it looks like he doesn't want to engage or have anything to do with getting down and dirty and, laying some guys out. I agree with John here. It'd be nice to see Ryan slide still outside for some snaps. I mean, that is two of your fastest guys on the team, and you can have them on the field at the same time. That is a recipe for some very large plays. Since we have been talking about Tyler Brown, let's hear what Dad had to say about him yesterday.
Just gonna keep keep growing, keep blossoming. I mean, he's he and Antonio kind of been a nice little 1-2 punch for us. It's really nice to really not have much drop off at all. There's really not a lot of drop off other than just Antonio's got a little more experience. But it's a really good situation for us. I mean, he's a guy that can he's to this point after 2 games he's played pretty good football for a young guy. He's played with no fear. And then definitely, he's a guy that can show up in special teams just like he did last week. So just continue hopefully to see him blossom as he continues to play and gain some experience. But it just gives us a lot of depth at a really critical spot on our team.
Yeah, I mean that is something that hasn't really been addressed a lot. Is the amount of depth, and Dad likes to call it functional depth. It's not just you're running out guys from Daniel High School out there. You're running out. You're replacing an Antonio Williams with a Troy Brown and Collins is still out. I mean, they have, I believe, the the potential to be an elite group of receivers. I think Klubnik has to do a better job of finding them when they're open because we have seen from the Red Sox numerous guys running wide open down the field, and Klubnik is either locked on to the first receiver and throwing to him come hell or high water, or he is not keeping his eyes down the field. Because there are numerous times, not just against CSU, I know that there has been a photo circulating throughout the social media verse of, hey, look at this. There are 3 guys here running wide open on the interception that he threw. That is the stuff that I think, is really just holding this team back. Is Klubnik has to get the out to these receivers. They're getting separation. They are doing what's asked of them in terms of running the routes. I think ultimately this is falling on K. Klubnik more than the receivers.
Yeah, I said it after the Duke game, and I got killed by some people, man. Got absolutely killed by. Hey, there, I told you we wasn't gonna make it, but I got absolutely killed. Some people after the Duke game when I said everybody said Clemson receivers can't get any separation, they're not getting open down the field, and I was like, look, man, this isn't all on the receivers. There was spots for Klubnik to throw into against Duke. He has some guys open that he never even saw. This is not all on the receiver. They're shouldering far more blame than they should be. It's just as much an inexperienced quarterback who's still trying to find his footing and letting the game slow down for him. And for me, that's the biggest thing. Once the game slows down for him, and maybe it did a lot in that third quarter against Charleston Southern. We'll find out Saturday. But once it fully slows down for him, you'll start seeing exactly how much these receivers have been open of late because he's going to start finding them and hitting them.
Yeah, I completely agree. So you mentioned this Saturday, I guess, the expectations are that Clemson is going to come out and steamroll FAU. I mean, I think the line is somewhere around 29 or 28. instead of asking you, what do you want to see out of the Tigers, what are you expecting the game environment to be like?
Yeah, we kind of touched on this last night. I'm kind of anxious to see how many fans show up because Death Valley was sad Saturday. It was sad.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
remember
After last Saturday, Clemson fans have absolutely zero right to ever say anything about South Carolina fans who leave early. Because,
I mean, even before people started leaving, it was sad. I haven't seen it that empty in a long time. Fortunately for Clemson, this is a night game that tends to draw the fans in, even if they are playing Florida Atlantic. But I'm kind of anxious to see what kind of crowd shows up. There's going to be, as always with any home game, there's going to be some recruits on hand. Most of the big name guys are going to be there the week after for Florida State, but or I should say some of the more notable names will be there for the weekend after the next week when Florida State comes to town. But there are going to be some guys on hand this week too, and it always helps to have as many fans on hand as possible as for that place to be as electric as possible. And it's usually a pretty good environment when there's a night game, regardless of the opponent. So I kind of think it's going to be. It won't be full, but it'll be better than it was this past Saturday.
all right, now let's look ahead because, we can look ahead. All you fans out there who say, you got to take it one game at a time. That is BS, in the media and in the fan world. You can look as far ahead as you want. It's the team that has to take it one game at a time.
Nothing we say has any bearing on the outcome of any game this year, next year, this week, next week. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and flip fast forward to next Saturday. Noon kickoff. The environment against a top 3 FSU team. Yeah. Barring them going up to Austin College and losing, which that honestly, if they were to do that, that would become the upset of the season. Clemson's lost to Duke quickly so far in the year and minds the national media, so they aren't going to lose. What are your expectations for that noon kickoff?
Oh, I think it's going to be packed out. Regardless of whether it's noon or 8, I think the place is going to be full, at least as close as it possibly could be without being full, maybe. But I think the people are going to show up. It still looks like people are very excited for this game. I still see people trying to buy tickets and can't find any. So I think it's going to be a very good environment, a la, Syracuse a few years ago, because that was a noon game. Trevor Lawrence's first start, and that was for a noon game, it was electric in there that day, especially when Clemson started coming back, when Chase Price started bringing them back. It was loud in there that afternoon. Maybe as loud as I've ever heard it for a noon game. I could see it being similar to that.
Yeah. So this gets me on to the actual question here. What is the best Clemson game environment you have ever experienced? Let us know in the comments. What is the absolute top level game that you said, oh my God, this was amazing? And I'll go first. I think it was the 2005 Miami game where it ended up Clemson lost in overtime. They drove down the field and Miami had the ball and could have scored a go-ahead touchdown, I mean, it was the single loudest I have ever heard that stadium. I mean, I was sitting in the stands, just a fan at that time, and I remember not being able to talk to the person next to me. It was so loud and so electric every single time, even in the overtimes. Every time I had the it was unreal. Actually, it wasn't 2005. I think it was 2004 because 2005 is when Clemson went to Miami and won, and then proceeded the next week to go to Duke and lose on a 900-yard field goal.
I wasn't at that Miami game, so I only watched that one on TV. But the loudest I've ever heard it, 1999, Clemson, South Carolina, the catch two when Gardner made the catch. That might be the loudest I've ever heard it. Clemson, Louisville, 2016 was another one that it was just, man, it was fire in there. And I wasn't at the Notre Dame Hurricane game. Couldn't get in because I didn't even try because of the weather, so I can't use that one. I wasn't there, but those are the two that really stand out to me. And I'll give you one that's underrated.
The Boston College.
Boston College. What I think it was 2007. It was jumping in there that night too. When Matt Ryan threw that wounded duck up in there and beat Clemson. Of course, it was the Atlantic Division was on the line. It was going to be Clemson's first ever Atlantic Division championship if they won, if I'm remembering that right. But that would be one that's underrated in my regard. But for me, the loudest was 1999, Clemson, South Carolina, Dantzler, the Gardner, the push off, the catch, whatever you want to call it, or the catch 2.0.
Yeah. That VC game really is underrated.
It doesn't get talked about a lot at
all. Aaron Kelly drops a pass in the end zone that would have won the game. And honestly, you have to wonder if they win that division, does Tommy Madden get an extra year or two, and now you aren't talking Dow, you're talking and there are a lot of things that hinged on that game.
Hey, that winning that game that night might very well have bought him some more time. You got fired in the middle of the season the next year. It very well might have bought him some more time, and you're not sitting here with Dabo Swinney as your head coach right now.
Yeah, it is crazy to think. I want to also remind everyone we will be live from Magnetic South Anderson tomorrow afternoon starting at 4:30 for our FAU preview show. Come out, see us. I'll be there, Riley there. Jason is still playing hooky, so he'll be right there.
I'll be there next week.
Listen, we have tons of swag to give away to you for free. We have shirts, cups, koozies, water bottles, anything you could possibly think of. All you have to do is show up and say, hey, I want one of those fire Clemson shirts, or one of those kick-ass hats like Jason wears, or a koozie for my,
beverage of choice.
Yeah. Yeah. To go in and we'll make sure that you get one. So do come out and visit us tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. So something came out today that I wouldn't say was necessarily shocking. It is what it is. the win totals for Clemson took a huge dive.
This is the FPI, right? Football Power Index for ESPN that the size is,
No,
right?
no, this is
We're talking about two different things. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. This is I think it's vetonline.ag who send out, the weekly lines and stuff. They sent out the win totals, and Clemson opened the season at 10, and now they have dropped to 8.5. So
The reason why I asked that is because the FPI dropped their win total to like 6.9 today or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I wanted. I saw the bet online stuff too. That's why I want to make sure which one we were talking about.
well, I mean, both of those are plummeting.
Yeah,
I
but I was going to point out, if we're talking about the FPI, we had to make a disclaimer that the FPI is trash.
sucks.
Let's start off with that. Still has Alabama ranked number 1 right now after having Texas go into their house and beat them by double digits.
Yeah, the FBI is just a load of.
You are fake news. You are fake news. You are fake news.
That is the FBI. However, all of this stuff can change on an instant. Clemson comes out and, does what they're supposed to FAU, and then, wins against FSU. And I guarantee you that the very same media who are writing Clemson off will say, look, they're right. Their offense is clicking. Their defense is who we thought they were. So, you have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. But, it is interesting. And look, any advice that you get on gambling from us is completely our own opinions, and do not take it to the bank. Because if you saw our segment on Are You Smarter Than Zach from last Friday's game, and we are all saying, Clemson isn't going to win, anything, or they're going to have to grind it out on the ground, and the passing numbers are going to be terrible because the weather is going to play a factor. If you had taken any of those bets, you would be broke as a joke around.
Yes, you would. We did not do very well last week.
No, as a collective. But the thing is, Clemson has an opportunity these next 2 weeks to really prove the doubters wrong. So, how do you see Clemson coming out like they did in the second half last week and carrying that over against FAU? Or do you see it kind of having another slow start, another, ho-hum kind of half? Or does Clemson come out and start to initiate proving these doubters wrong?
I think they're going to come out exactly the same way we saw them Saturday. It's just a matter of whether they protect the football. You can't make the stupid mistakes, but I think they're going to come out and do exactly what they did on Saturday in the third quarter. It'd be nice to see K. Klubnik settle in a little earlier and maybe not make the back-breaking mistakes he made Saturday. But you take those 2 turnovers out of the equation. Clemson is rolling in that game very early. That's what it is with this team so far. They just got to hold on to the football. Talked about it with the story Brad did a little while ago. You just can't keep turning the ball over, and having to overcome those kind of mistakes. If this team can get back to protecting the football, forcing some turnovers of their own, and actually winning the turnover margin, I think this team, it can be very good, and absolutely prove some of these doubters wrong.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in that story that Rad just ran, you can head on over to ClemsonTigers.com. Join Death Valley domain is dirt cheap. Be on to it that way. And yeah, you will not be disappointed at all. So you can head over there, join up, and start getting the insights. Yeah.
Recruiting story coming in the morning, matter of fact.
There's a little teaser. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be the place to get your insider information for the cheapest you can get. So if you have not done, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I did a ton of research on this story. He talks about the issues from last year and carrying over to this year. So do us a favor and check that out. Here is something that you can do that is completely free. You can subscribe and like on YouTube. Listen, it's completely free, doesn't charge you a thing, and you can help grow this channel, which will help us in turn get more content out, be able to do some special things, have some special giveaways. Oh, speaking of giveaways, I completely forgot to mention that when we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, you are someone unlucky person is going to walk away with a purple Clemson Tigers polo shirt. This shirt that I'm wearing now. Let's see here. A white and black hat like Jason has. There you go. Also a Clemson Tigers jacket and a ton of swag offer just joining up. So when we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, that is going to be given away. So do not miss that. So that is all our reads done. I have covered all the boring stuff. So without giving away too much from the show tomorrow afternoon at Magnetic South, I want to know from you, what can the fans learn from FAU?
For me,
yeah.
Yeah, for me, all eyes will be on the quarterback. I want to see what I saw during the third quarter against Charleston Southern. Come out and be consistent, make your reads. Don't be locking on to one receiver like he tended to do in the first half and did some against Duke. Scan the field. I thought he looked like the quarterback we were all expecting to see at the beginning of the season. I thought he finally started to look that way in the third quarter Saturday. I want to see more of that. Let's see if the game really has started to slow down for him. That is what I am going to be looking for.
Yeah, and from my side of things, I want to see the O-line protect like they should. They are going up against an undersized team. There is absolutely zero reason that K Club should have to, do his backpedal stuff and look to pack. They should give him a clean pocket to throw from, and I just want to see some continuity and increased nastiness from that line. I think the talent is there. I mean, Dow talked all about how he was 7, 8, even 10, 11 deep comfortable. However, through the first two games, we have seen some issues and some drop-offs at that spot. So I think, the offensive line needs to get some stuff together before they face FSU. And honestly, I just want to see a clean game. I want to see the turnovers minimized and the, bust assignments on defense minimized. I just want to see a clean game that is over in 2.5 hours.
4 quarters of complimentary football.
There you go. There you go. That is over in 2.5 hours.
Added bonus.
Yes,
I
sir.
am fingers crossed that will happen.
That's what that was. That was fingers crossed. I thought that was just
I started shaking it because I saw the way it looked. I knew it kind of looked like I was doing something else there.
I was going, damn it, Jason, there we are, monetization. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week on our Clemson Tigers Radio Show. We have an absolute blast just sitting down and shooting the crap, talking about Clemson and interacting with y'all as much as we can. I have a confession to make, okay? I know that, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, that we got in the Twinkie Swiss roll discussion. I went to Walgreens the other day, who's not a sponsor of the show. If you want to sponsor us, reach out to Sharnita at Clemson Maven.io. I went to my local Walgreens and they were sitting in front of me were the Halloween, bags of Reese's. The individual packs. I think this year I think they're rats and pumpkins. And I got 2 bags of those and ate both of them yesterday night and this afternoon for lunch. Because to me, there is something about, even at Christmas time, they bring out those Christmas tree Reese's. I am guilty of getting those things and putting a hurting on them.
I just told my wife tonight it's time to go to the store. There's nothing sweet to eat in the house.
All right, so here's the thing. Do you get a lot of trick or treaters at your house?
Oh, I don't get any. I literally live in the sticks, bro. I don't get any trick or treaters. When my kids used to trick or treat, we used to have to drive to town and park somewhere and go trick or treat.
Yeah, that sounds like our neighborhood. People
I can
drive.
leave the porch light on and nobody's coming here.
Yeah. So there are neighborhoods and neighbors that actually drive into our neighborhood and park at the clubhouse pool.
That would be me.
Yeah, and then walk their kids around. And so, yeah, that is fine. But yeah, so are you? This could be a fireable offense if you answer wrong. Candy corn or no candy corn?
No candy corn.
All right, you get to stay on another week since Jason will be back with us tomorrow night.
I'm not a big candy corn person at all. Never have been, not even when I was a kid.
Amen. Well, you know what? That's secure your job for another week. As a reminder, come see us at Magnetic South in Anderson this Friday at 4:30. Get you some swag, get you some fun stuff. Come out, have a beer or two, and let's have fun. Jason, thank you so much for joining us again on the Clemson Tigers Radio Show. For Jason, I am Zach. Y'all have a great night. Guess what? It is officially 48 hours until kickoff. So let's go.